What if the secret to overcoming creative burnout was hidden in one book? Thousands of people have credited The Artist's Way with healing their inner creative selves and unblocking as an artist to fulfill all their goals. I started making videos purely out of passion and excitement, but recently it started to feel more like a chore. So over the next 12 weeks, I'm committing to the full program to see if it helps me break through or if it's just another overhyped self-help book. But what I didn't expect is how one simple trick changed my entire life. Hi, I just woke up. I don't know if you can tell. So The Artist's Way is more of a creative rehab program than it really is a book that you just sit down and read. It's divided into 3 different types of exercises, and the first one are morning pages. So it's 3 pages of brain drain, which is basically just getting like all that angry, whiny, petty stuff out of your head first thing in the morning so that you have a clean palette for the rest of the day. I can see how I'm gonna really like doing this because I do tend to get in my head a lot and I get distracted pretty easily, and I think this will hopefully help. I've been reading through the first chapter and it's been really interesting so far. I finally feel comfortable calling myself an artist. That's something that I've struggled with a lot because part of me likes to joke and say that I just make dumb videos on the internet, which is true, and I love that. But at the same time, sometimes I struggle to also call myself an artist, so hopefully this book will change that. So for a little bit of context, I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary of making videos. You know, I started making videos purely from a place of excitement and passion. I don't know if it's just been so long or kind of been going through this journey of like trying to turn it into a career, which has definitely changed things. I've just not been as excited anymore to like make videos. But even more than that, I've realized recently that like it's not just making videos. Like I'm not doing anything creative anymore for fun. I want to get that spark back. So I'm really hoping that this book will do something because I'm kind of getting desperate here. The second part of this program is something called Artist Dates, which basically you just take a chunk of time out of your day to go do something creative by yourself. For my first artist date, I went climbing, which in my opinion is a creative activity. And then the next week, I went on a little adventure. I went to a flea market in this random town, which was cool. I got mac and cheese pie, and then I went to this beach on Lake Ontario and ate it.
I'm at a beach that has icicles, which to me feels very unnatural. Like, I grew up in South Carolina. It's not normal for there to be icicles on the beach. It's also not normal for this to be a lake. I'm so just frustrated. Do you know how much it sucks to put in so much work into something just for nobody to give a shit? I feel like whenever I talk about this, the conclusion is, well, you just gotta keep trying. You just gotta keep looking forward. And it's like, well, I feel like I've been doing that for years now. I've been trying to prove to people my entire life that I'm not crazy, that pursuing a career in this industry is worth it. Like, I've been trying to convince people to pay attention and to listen to me my entire life. And it's really annoying when your entire job is kind of dependent on that same thing. So what is color theory? You've probably seen the color wheel before. It probably pops up in your editing software all the time. I made a video about color theory for a moment and it really just like flopped. And I have been struggling to not be upset about it. Like, I've been upset about it. I feel like I've gone through the stages of grief, of like sadness and then anger, and now I'm kind of just like neutral. Giving myself dedicated time to vent and kind of get this frustration out of my system was really, really nice, because I feel like normally I'll kind of just carry that around all day and it leads me to just not being as productive as I could be. And also it doesn't make me feel very creative either, or likely to take more risks or try different things. So having this intentional time set aside, planned daily and weekly to kind of get all these thoughts out of my head has been revolutionary for me so far. Each week you have to read a chapter of the book, and during week 1 there was a certain section that like really stood out to me about being a shadow artist. Basically, a shadow artist is someone who is too intimidated to become an artist themselves. These people become shadow artists instead. Shadow artists often choose shadow careers, those close to desired art, even parallel to it, but not the art itself. So for the past
like 5 years I've been editing for other YouTubers, creators. But reading this, I was like, damn, like this is literally the most shadow artist thing I could have possibly done. There's nothing wrong with being a shadow artist necessarily, but like it almost becomes like too comfortable to where you're like just close enough to what your goal is that you kind of settle. I don't know, I don't want to settle. I feel like I've been obsessed with learning instead of actually just pushing myself to make things. This all boils down to me just being scared. Scared to put myself out there and potentially fail. Even though it was kind of a difficult realization, I think it was definitely necessary.
There was another quote she said somewhere about how often being a blocked creative means that you're living in a world of fantasy. And I 1000% fall into this category, where basically it feels safer to have these ideas and have these plans than to actually do them. Because if you do them and you fail, then the dream is shattered, right? And that's terrifying.
Okay, so it's been a couple weeks since I started this whole program. Basically what I've done is I've gone through a lot of my morning pages from the first 3 weeks and highlighted some of the reoccurring negative thoughts that I've been having. I hate feeling behind, or like people don't take me seriously because I don't have big numbers. Pressure to have it all figured out early on. What if people think it's cheesy or stupid? I guess at my core it's a belief that what I have to say is not interesting enough or good enough, that I don't deserve an audience who supports my work. A lot of fear around like feeling like it's too late, like I'm running out of time, or I haven't like found my stride yet, and I'm really stressed out because I've been doing this now for almost 10 years and just feel frustrated and wonder if there's like something wrong with me, or if this is just not meant to be. You'd think that like over time it would get easier to put yourself out there and like experiment, because it's like a skill that you've been practicing for a long time. But I don't know, for me it kind of feels like the opposite. It feels like the longer I do this, the harder it gets to be vulnerable and experiment. Watching that clip back of me reading basically my insecurities when it comes to creating, I'm not gonna lie, I debated even including this in the video because it just feels kind of dumb saying some of these things out loud. But you know, things that we keep bottled up in our heads actually do have an impact on our real lives. These first couple weeks were really hard to just really force myself to make stuff. I've kind of felt insane a little bit, but apparently that's normal, so yay. The only way I'm going to get through this period is by forcing myself to make stuff. There's literally nothing else to it. So I'm headed to the airport because I'm going to LA. I haven't been back there in over a year since I moved to Canada, so I'm really excited. This is gonna be interesting. I'm back. Once I landed in LA, I was staying with some friends. All of us like to make some sort of thing creatively, so it's always a fun time hanging out, chatting about what we're working on, and also just having fun. A concept. I kept up my morning pages, and for my artist date that week, I decided to do something that I've never done before in LA, which is going to the Getty. I don't know how I've never been here, but it was so pretty and definitely worth going. I think what I've been feeling a lot lately is like I want to get back to a place where I feel excited to create again. And today, walking around the Getty, I think for the first time in like a super long time, I've been happy to walk around with my camera and just shoot stuff, which is crazy because it's been a couple years, I think, since I've felt that way, and it didn't feel like annoying or like a hassle, so that's a good sign. I think when I lived here was probably the time where I felt the least inspired to do my own thing, to make my own videos, to make my own content. Even though, like, look around, like, it's so pretty and so easy to do. And now that I don't live here anymore, I'm like, god damn, I could have made so many cool things here. I learned a lot about who I am outside of creativity here, ironically. I'm leaving
in about 2 hours to go back to the airport. Said bye to my friends. I've had so much fun the past couple days. Something I was a little worried about happening when I came back to LA was, will I miss the version of my life that I had back then? And honestly, I think I can confidently say that I do not feel regret about leaving Los Angeles and moving to Canada. I love California. I always will. It's so effortlessly beautiful here. I've moved a couple times. Every place has its strengths and weaknesses, but the one thing that will really make or break a place will be the people around you. And that's what I'm really realizing with this trip, is that I don't necessarily miss LA itself. I just miss the time that I was able to spend with my friends here.
It's really easy to use external factors in our lives as excuses as to why we're not being our most creative selves. Before I moved to LA, I thought that moving there would solve all my problems. A place, a piece of gear, a person is not what's gonna make you be more creative. I think it's good to think of our creativity as a well. It's not gonna fill up on its own. You have to fill it up with inspiration, and a big part of that is having other creative people around you. Hello. So it's been a couple months since I've gotten back home from being in LA, and I just want to give you a quick update because a lot has happened and a lot has not happened, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I've been just trying to get into the routine of things. Earlier this year, I decided to expand from just being a freelance editor to starting a little video editing agency, so that has been taking up a lot of my time. If you're a YouTuber or content creator and are looking for an editor, there will be a link in the description. Sneaky self-promo. So I've read 2 weeks in the past little while. And remember how I was talking about that whole well thing earlier? Well, there's a quote in week 7 that I wrote down. It says, "Art is an act of tuning in and dropping down the well." To be honest, it's been kind of hard to let go, if that makes sense. Something I've been doing a lot recently is telling myself that what I'm making is the first draft, or what I'm writing is the first draft. And that's really helped me to just get started. And a lot of the times it will be the final bones of the video, if not the final, but just kind of like framing it like that helps me mentally not get intimidated, I guess, to like make the video. Soon I'm going to Brazil on a creative retreat with a group of girls that I've never met before. I'm really excited about that. I feel like it's gonna be a really special experience. And of course, since, you know, I've been falling behind a little bit on the reading, I'm going to be bringing the book with me on this trip.
Hello. I'm currently in Brazil. I just realized how echoey it is in here. Please bear with me. It's been really fun so far. It was I don't even know how long of a flight it was to get here, but it's so worth it because it's so pretty.
One of the big things I've noticed throughout this process so far is how much I've been craving having other creative people around me who are positive and encouraging. That's something that I think I've been missing from living in LA. When I moved to Canada, I moved to a small town, and I don't really know many people here, especially not creative people. And that's normal. Like when you move anywhere, it takes a while to meet people. I'm proud of myself for being proactive and making sure that I am prioritizing the things that make me feel more creative. Plus, this trip has been so much fun so far. So it's a win-win.
Yesterday we went on a horse ride, which was the most chaotic horse ride of my entire life. Like as soon as we got to the beach, me and Colleen's horses just took off. And it was kind of scary at first, but then really awesome. I wasn't able to film anything because I was worried I was gonna fall off and die. So it's crazy just how much positivity and having an open mindset and a willingness to try can like change your life. And sometimes you just have to be around other people who are also doing those things. This trip, like talking to others about why they make stuff and how they make stuff, and like not to take things so seriously and just kind of like following things that you love. It sounds so hippy dippy, but like it's kind of true that like that's all you can really do is follow your gut and like what it is that you're interested in and passionate about, and not let like the voices get in the way of that. Hi, I'm back in Canada.
I want to read you a quote that really stuck with me on my trip.
In order to recover our sense of hope and the courage to create, we must acknowledge and mourn the scars that are blocking us. I had a lot of conversations with the girls on this trip. And what I've been realizing is that I've kind of had a lot of pushback when it comes to wanting to be a creative person. When I was younger and in college, my parents and I had a lot of conflict over whether pursuing a creative career was like a reasonable thing to do or not. We're at a way better place now, but it definitely took a lot of time to get here. I know my parents are watching right now, and I don't want you to feel bad. Because I think it is very natural to want to protect your kid, to have the best shot of a future, right? The rain is so dramatic, I'm so sorry. But I think, reflecting back to that time in my life when I kind of had to believe in myself a lot, because it sort of felt like no one else saw the same vision that I did. And on top of that, I've also had mentor figures kind of be negative to me as well. People I look up to, and to kind of get pushed back on it from people I was really close with, like that, I think has had a lasting impression on me. Being a creative person in general is so vulnerable. The truth is not a lot of people succeed at it, honestly. And so it's normal for the people around us to want us to be careful, but that also doesn't mean you shouldn't try. I've never acknowledged how these things have impacted me before. And I guess that's the whole point of this book, is to acknowledge things that are blocking us.
I finished it. This has definitely been a healing journey, and a big part of that is had to acknowledge things that have been holding me back, and not just acknowledge it by myself, but also talk to others about it has been really hard and scary to do. But being on the other side of that, it's so rewarding and almost freeing. Even me posting this video is gonna be a big part of that process, because I've shared a lot of things that I would normally keep to myself. I've started to notice in my daily life that I've just been feeling way more open to trying new things, which is really nice because it's been a long time since I felt that way. Going through this program has helped me realize that it's okay to be bad at things, it's okay to just have fun with creativity, and we should be doing that. I recently started writing a book. I used to love reading and writing when I was a kid, so I don't know, just reconnecting with different parts of my creativity like that have been so fun, and it's given me an outlet to just mess around with, which is something that I didn't do before. Everything I did that was creative was serious or had a purpose or was going to be posted somewhere. Listening to your gut, to what you're curious about, interested in, and following those things, not worrying for it to be perfect, but just to have fun with it and experiment. It sounds so simple, but it's literally changed my life. And so if you are also feeling blocked as a creative person and you can relate to how I was at the beginning of this video, I'd recommend going through this program. Don't take it too seriously, just do it for fun. I filmed this video over the course of 6 months or something, maybe a bit more, so it takes a while. And I'm not saying everything's perfect now, alright? No. It is still a constant daily effort to take care of my inner artist. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you've been feeling like a blocked artist recently. What's been blocking you? What are you doing to change that? And if you have gone through the artist way before, I'd love to know your thoughts. So yeah, I'll see you soon with another new video. Bye!